Hello, welcome back to Unsanctioned MMA. Today we're going to recap the events of the weekend, UFC Vegas 32 and BKFC 19. We're going to start with Friday night's event, BKFC 19, Paige VanZant versus Rachael Ostovich. This is my first time checking out a Bare Knuckle event. And I must say I was pleasantly surprised. I honestly thought I was going to go in there and just see just wild fists flying, just punches after punches after punches after punches. There was a whole lot of clinch work and dirty boxing in BKFC, which was a pleasant surprise. I know some people may just want to go in there and see hands fly the entire round, but no, people get hit, people clinch, and it's a whole lot more of a strategic clinch than boxing where you just try to grab a guy's arm and hold on. No, they clinch, get in there, throw some dirty uppercuts. But it was a great event. I checked out the main event and a few more fights, and BKFC is doing a good job on social media. Not only by having people like Paige VanZant and Rachael Ostovich be pioneers for your sport and get out there, two women who have great social media followings. Apparently there were a few other fights that had people in that world buzzing. Britain Hart versus Jenny Savage. Apparently those two ladies did not like each other, and it showed in the fight. So all in all, I'm not going to break down a bunch of fights here. Just want to talk about it real quick. BKFC, bare knuckle fighting. Pleasantly surprised. Rachael Ostovich got the upset over Paige VanZant. Rachael looked very comfortable in there on the feet. Not sure if she's ready to come back to the UFC, but she did look comfortable behind the hands in there with Paige. Great event, great Friday night event. Way to not compete with the UFC. And if you have not checked out a bare knuckle event ever, do so. Do so. Some great fights. Those who like to see action on the feet, that's all you're going to get. All right, let's move on to UFC Vegas 32, San Hagen versus Dilla Shaw. We're going to go in reverse order in the order of the card for the split decisions. A lot of people are upset with these split decisions from this night. A lot of great fights. This may be one of the better cards of the year in hindsight. In the first fight, we got Maycee Barber versus Miranda Maverick, which ended in a split decision for Maycee Barber. A lot of people are upset about this decision. I personally am not. I think Miranda won the first round. It's pretty obvious she won it, even though it was not a lot of action in the first round. The first round was a feeling out process, a lot of trying to find range. But I do think Miranda did enough to win that round. All the judges agree on that. I thought Maycee was winning the second round up until very late. And once Miranda got the takedown, I thought to myself, ooh, they're going to give this second round to Miranda because of that late takedown. And Maycee clearly won round 3. Two of the judges gave Maycee round 2. Personally, not because I'm a bigger fan of Maycee than I am Miranda, not the case. Personally, I was happy to see it. I hate the notion of fighters, quote unquote, stealing rounds at the end with the takedown. If you're a better wrestler, you can lose the first 4 minutes and 15 seconds of the round, but in the last 45 seconds, go get a takedown, go get position. If you start to lay some offense on the ground, a lot of times the judges will give you that round. I've always hated that. As I said a few days ago, I'm a huge Jon Jones fan. And I feel horrible that Dominic Reyes' entire life trajectory changed because Jon Jones stole rounds at the end with takedowns. So I never liked that notion. And I think Maycee, before that takedown, was winning the second round. If that second round nothing changes about it for the last 45 seconds, I think everyone says Maycee wins it. And then she won the third round. I'm not upset with that. I actually like the way that fight was judged. I know a lot of people are going to disagree. But let me also say this. I also now completely understand why the UFC likes to keep their young talent away from each other. Why we usually see young talent in there with someone who's a bit older and probably headed out. Because those two girls, Maycee and Miranda, are probably going to be in each other's crosshairs again. And let's say 5 years from now, 3 or 4 years from now, those two girls have a number 1 contender fight. And Maycee goes out and wins again, whether convincingly or another close fight. She goes out and wins again. She becomes the champion. A few more fights happen, and it's clear
that Miranda is the number one contender. Do we now put Miranda in the same boat as Joanna is in right now, where we say, yeah, but we've seen that fight twice. We don't want to see it a third time. Maycee's already beat you twice. Even though the first one was controversial, she's beaten you twice. Marvin Vettori will never get another middleweight championship fight as long as Israel Adesanya is the champion. So I can now understand why the UFC says, hey, let's keep our younger guys in there with some older guys who are trying to maybe reprove themselves, or older gals in there who are trying to reprove themselves, rather than put our two young 20-something-year-olds in there together, because this matchup may need to happen down the line, and we don't want people to say let's not do it because we've seen it already. And those two girls are going to be totally different fighters in 3 or 4 years. Looking at that fight last night, it almost seems silly that we were thinking about putting Maycee in there with Valentina Shevchenko. She needs so much more polish before she's ready to take on Valentina, and it showed last night. Rowland Paiva versus Kyler Phillips. I hope I'm saying his name right. I mean, I thought Kyler had got him out of there in the first round. This was the only time I can ever think of where I was surprised that a fighter's corner let him get off the stool. I thought Paiva's corner was going to tell him, nah, not tonight, man. We've had enough after the first round. He came back and got his offense off in the second and third round. I was completely expecting this fight to end in a draw. One judge saw it that way. 2 other judges gave the second and third round to Paiva. And I'm assuming they only gave Kyler a 10-9 in the first round. You know, that feels wrong. I saw an evenly matched fight. I wanted to see it go to a draw, selfishly, because I wanted to see it again. The main event, Dilla Shaw versus San Hagen. I think San Hagen missed a lot of opportunities with spinning attacks. I think he was going for the spectacular KO to make sure he cemented himself as the number one contender. And I think the moment he heard TJ Dilla Shaw's name said, he realized all I needed to do was win this fight. Damn it, I blew it. I think Corey Sandhagen won the fight, but for whatever reason, on this night, the judges said we're going to take into account pressure more than we are damage. Corey clearly inflicted more damage than TJ, but TJ kept going forward. Corey stayed on his back foot for the most part at the end of that fight, and 2 of the 3 judges decided that Corey Sandhagen was the loser. It sucks. I think he'll be right back in the title picture after TJ Dilla Shaw or whoever gets the next crack at the winner of Jan versus Aljo. And here to report, I was wrong. I thought Aljo was going to need more time to get himself together. That fight has been booked October 30th. Fight Island, Peter Yan versus Jermain Sterling. It is one of 2 title fights that night. I'm not sure if it's going to be on pay-per-view. Aljo mentioned pay-per-view on his social media post about it, but other people are reporting it's going to be an ESPN/ESPN Plus event. I guess we'll find out as the time goes on. But I think Corey Sandhagen is going to be right back in this picture. He's too good of a fighter to slide him too far down in the division. He has to stay somewhere around that top 4, top 5. You can't put Corey Sandhagen out there with the number 11 guy. He'll kill him. So I think he'll stay right around the title picture. I think he gets one more fight. He has to win one more fight before he's again one more fight away from the title picture. All right, so let us know down in the comments. Do you agree with the decisions from last night? Do you think any fighters lost that should have won, or do you think the judges did a fine job? Pretty sure that's going to be no's around the board. Also, did you check out Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship Friday night? If so, would you watch it again? As always, we do a video here once a day on the weekdays and every now and then on the weekend. We will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for checking us out.